부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다. 바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로 하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산, 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
아직 어렵게 느껴지는 영어. 아이들 영어는 어떻게 챙기시나요? 부산 영어방송이 준비한 어린이 영어 콘텐츠 세상. BFM 키즈 영상 채널이 여러분을 찾아갑니다. 샘 해밍턴과 윌 벤저스 그리고 모모랜드 낸시가 함께하는 BFM 키즈에서 영어로 듣는 부산 설화와 전래동화, 재밌는 파닉스 영어, 신나는 K-팝 영어까지 만나보세요. 우리 아이의 영어 실력과 창의력을 쑥쑥 키워줄 특별한 어린이 영어 채널 BFM 키즈가 여러분을 기다립니다. 지금 바로 BFM 키즈를 검색하고 구독해주세요.
Hi, I'm Roberto Fernandez from Mallorca, Spain. I have been living here in Busan for more than 5 years with my Korean wife and twin boys. Back in 2020, I was invited to a game by a friend of mine. Since in Spain, football is the most beloved sport, baseball really drew my attention. In Sajic Baseball Stadium, everyone was singing the chants loudly, and that space was filled with the vibes of Busan. Everyone could truly become one body and one mind, sharing all the feelings of joy and sorrow. When I first visited here in Busan, I didn't have a family. But now, I have the whole Giants family as well as my own family. Once Busan Galmegi, you are forever Busan Galmegi. Global City Busan, we're in it together. This campaign was brought to you by BEFM Busan 영어방송.
The weather is so nice today. I'm sure this won't be a big deal.
A 3-second long lapse in judgment can burn up an entire mountain, which will take 100 years to recover. We can protect these lush forests if you follow these guidelines. First, do not bring flammable materials to the mountains. Second, do not cook or camp in the mountains. Third, do not litter cigarette butts. Your small actions are the first step towards protecting the beautiful forest. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
Want to be a friend of BFM 부산영어방송? You can chat with BFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BFM's Kakao friend by searching BFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BFM 부산영어방송 to your Kakao friends list.
Man, I haven't got a chance. I call him.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
It's another cold one. It is freezing this morning. How are you getting to work? Well, for many people, buses are a common mode of transportation. They're reliable and the costs are relatively affordable. And when buses stop running, it is the public that suffers immediately. We feel it. If you're in the Seoul area, you might be affected by the full bus strike that launched early this morning. Negotiations between the bus union and management dragged on for more than 10 hours, continuing past midnight under mediation by the Seoul Regional Labor Relations Commission. And ultimately, the two sides, they couldn't reach an agreement, and so the strike began at 4 a.m. this morning. For those of you in the capital area, and if you usually take the bus, it's going to be a hectic morning. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Tuesday, January 13th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well, that you are well rested and ready to kick off our Tuesday morning together. So, like I said, if you're in the capital area, you might want to stay tuned to all the news, including, of course, Morning Wave in Busan. We'll give you the latest if there's any changes, if there's a breakthrough in the negotiations for that bus strike. Well, in the meantime, today is another important day. Today is the readjusted D-Day for the final hearing in former President Yoon Suk-yeol's insurrection trial. This is shaping up to be a major week for the former president, who is standing multiple trials. So this isn't just one we're talking about. First up, the special counsel is set to make its sentencing request in the insurrection trial, where Yoon faces charges of being basically the ringleader in an insurrection attempt stemming from his December 3rd martial law declaration. Of course, this sentencing request was supposed to come last Friday. As we explained yesterday, this was delayed due to prolonged cross-examination and arguments by the defense counsel. And for reference, the only legal sentencing for insurrection are capital punishment, life sentence, or life sentence without labor. But there is actually a verdict coming down this week as well. The Seoul Central District Court under Judge Baek Tae-hyun will announce a verdict on the charges of aggravated obstruction of justice and abuse of authority. The special counsel last month requested 10 years for those charges. And with the former president denying all charges, again claiming that the martial law declaration was due to the Democratic Party's legislative, quote-unquote, dictatorship. So these trials are wrapping up, while others are starting in earnest this week. The Cho Eun-suk special counsel has brought up charges of aiding the enemy over allegations that the Yoon administration sent drones to Pyongyang to provoke the North as a reason for declaring martial law. So this trial began yesterday, and pre-trial hearings will take place today over perjury allegations, and tomorrow, trials regarding the death of a Marine corporal and the alleged cover-up will take place. It is shaping up to be a major week, and the hope is that these sentences and verdicts will be an opportunity for closure and for the country to be able to move forward, not cause, further division for the country as well. We'll keep an eye on all these stories, but now it's time for a text topic. So here we go. This is related to a story we're going to cover in hour number 2. What are some trends that you don't understand? Or maybe you wish, I hope this never returns. Versus trends that you think are, oh, this was a trend, but I like this one. I hope this is a steady constant. Oh, I can tell you right away. 1, skinny jeans. Oh, my bird. Because as I was speaking, I didn't even see I didn't see her message, but Tweety Bird, our PD님, 예지 PD님, right when I was saying, she was typing in skinny jeans. Oh, I don't understand that trend. I hope it never comes back. Yeah, there are no skinny jeans in my closet. Not anymore. Threw them out. So, everybody says, fashion, it comes back. Well, that one you can keep, because I am just not for that one. Anyhow, so other trends, whether it's regarding food, fashion, whatever it is, let's hear all about them. 이해 안 가는 유행 versus 이건 인정. 이제는 스테디다 하는 유행이 있을 거예요. 근데 그 이해 안 가는 유행, 그게 더 굉장히 재밌을 것 같아요. Send in your messages to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find our channel. Subscribe, log in and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050 샵 9050. That's going to cost you 101. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk as well. To find our account, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송. Add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages and photos too. Oh, if you have photos of skinny jeans, yeah, we want to see that too. Well, you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan on the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's if you're in the Busan area. We are on YouTube Live right now. You can all watch again at your leisure. We're also available on the BEFM app and the Popbang app. Both are free and easy to download. Let's look ahead to our Tuesday morning together. So we have our daily segments now in Busan with Jian. We have Haley for top stories, wa글와글. That's in hour number 2. Andrew's coming in for Wave Sports. We have Bonnie with Simply Sustainable. Our special interview today, we're going to cover something that we have known for a while. The fact that Korea is a super age society. So what does this mean, though? We talk about it, we know it, but how will this affect us? And this whole debate over, longevity versus healthy longevity. Let's tackle this in hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07 and this is News Overview. Seoul City bus drivers launch strike. Seoul City's bus union has launched a full strike starting with the first bus this morning after wage talks fell through between the union and the management. Special counsel requests 15-year sentence for ex-interior minister. The Cho Eun-suk Special Counsel has requested a 15-year prison sentence for former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min for his alleged role in ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's insurrection attempt. President Lee Jae-myung heads to Japan for second summit with Takaichi. President Lee Jae-myung will embark on a 2-day trip to Nara Prefecture in Japan to meet with Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi starting today. Government presents blueprint for serious crimes and investigations agencies. The Prosecutorial Reform Task has unveiled outlines for the 2 new government agencies that will take on the prosecution's investigative and indictment powers. At least 600 dead in Iran protests. Reports estimate that at least 648 people have died in Iran from the anti-regime protests, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying that he is unafraid to use force. This was News Overview. It's time for Now Busan. We have Jian in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's another cold one, right? Mm-hmm. Well, let's get your take on trends. What is something that you hope never comes back versus something you're like, oh, this I think I could do?
Never comes back. I can understand why people do that. But more than that, I wish
I've been mentioning this so many times, but the Dubai chewy cookie should be the steady one now. It's just something different from other food.
You
trends.
like it?
I like it so much.
They're
Have
so
you tried
expensive.
it? It is, but
Yes.
after one piece of it, like you can stop thinking about any more sweet desserts.
두쫀쿠, as the young
yes.
people. 다 줄임말. 그것도 I don't like that trend, but anyways. I digress. So yeah, actually we have a story on that coming up in hour number 2. So you can stay tuned. We're going to jump into some local news. So part of Yongsan and Busan are finally being connected by urban rail. So what's going on?
A new urban rail line linking Nopo station of Busan Metro Line 1 to Bukjeongdong in Yangsan is set to open this November. According to Busan Transportation Corporation and Yangsan City, the line is now in its final stage with only part of the system work remaining and is targeting an early November opening. Beginning in February, the line will enter its final mandatory step before operation, a full test run conducted by the Korea Transportation Safety Authority, 한국교통안전공단, to thoroughly evaluate performance and safety of newly built railway facilities.
Yes. So what kind of preparations are being made ahead of the opening?
As part of those efforts, Busan Transportation Corporation held its first safety inspection day of the year last Monday on the 5th from Naesong Station to Sasong Station along the Yangsan line.
Right.
To ensure smooth transfer with Busan Metro Lines 1 and 2, the corporation plans to introduce a dual monitoring and control system at each station. It will also adopt a direct transfer structure that allows passengers to change lines without passing through ticket gates, minimizing confusion during transfers.
I see. So I'm sure this will it's good news for many people who live in that area or work in those two areas. All right, next, some encouraging news for middle-aged job seekers here in Busan. Tell us more about this.
Busan City announced that it will invest 20 billion won this year into its mid-career employment support program, doubling last year's budget to create around 600 jobs. The program puts the skills of people aged 50 to 64 to work where social support is most needed. Busan will double social service positions to 240 this year, focusing on care for vulnerable and isolated households.
What kinds of programs are included?
Fields at risk of service gaps will be designated as priority jobs, including cooking assistants at free meal facilities for seniors and caregiver supporters at daycare centers for people with disabilities. Busan will accept project proposals through January 23rd, and selected programs will be finalized next month, followed by recruitment of unemployed middle-aged residents through March.
Okay.
Participants will receive around 800,000 won per month for 60 hours of work.
I see. So thanks for letting us know about this one. Our next topic is this. Along a new site will be transformed into a new cultural complex for residents. So where is this and how's it, going to be?
The formal Sinpyeong Reserve Forces Training Ground site will be redeveloped into a lifestyle-focused cultural and sports hub where citizens can enjoy exercise, culture, and relaxation. The site had served as a military facility for more than 4 decades, and concrete reuse plans have been explored since the Ministry of National Defense announced its integration and relocation plan for reserve training grounds in 2022.
Oh, okay. So what kind of space will it become?
The city is drawing up a development plan that preserves the natural landscape while reflecting the area's elevated and sloped terrain. With a project budget of about 28 billion won, construction will begin after administrative procedures and site restoration are completed, with completion planned for 2029. The site will be developed into a comprehensive cultural and sports complex, including a multi-purpose gym, outdoor sports facilities, a library, parking, and a nearby children's forest experience center.
Oh, it sounds actually really lovely. So I'm sure we can all look forward to this one. Moving on to our final topic for local news. We're hearing news about a new cruise ship making its first call at Busan Port. What's the story behind this one?
The worldwide cruise ship Aidadiva arrived at Busan port for the first time yesterday on the 12th. Worldwide cruises are large-scale cruise journeys that connect major ports across continents and countries around the globe. Operated by German cruise line Aida Cruises, the 69,000-ton Aidadiva docked in Busan carrying around 2,000 passengers.
And what does the cruise schedule look like from here on out?
The ship departed from Germany on November 20th last year and has been sailing a 133-day itinerary covering Canada, the United States, Japan, Taiwan, and other destinations. After arriving in Busan, the ship remained until 6 p.m. before departing for Tokyo, Japan. Passengers disembarking in Busan visited major attractions such as Pomosa Temple, Haedong Yonggungsa Temple, Gamcheon Cultural Village, and Jagaichi Market. To mark the ship's first visit, the city hosted a welcome event featuring K-pop dance performances, traditional music, and traditional dance.
Well, we welcome all cruise ships to the port of Busan, right? So thank you for all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. First up, let's talk about Mandok-daero. It is congested from Mandok Tunnel number 2 to Mandok intersection. It's backed up on Dongso overpass from Bumnulgo ramp to the old Kaegum tollgate. And there is traffic on Daedong Hwamyeong Bridge right now going toward Anmak ramp. It's also slow on Luno Samsung-daero from Myeongji ramp to Shinho Bridge. Currently, it's 6 degrees under clear skies here in Busan. It feels chillier for some reason. Anyhow, it's going to go up to 8 degrees. It is warmer today. Busan City is under a dry weather special report. Looking at the weather across the country, basically dry and cold, with morning lows in the minus territory and snow forecast for parts of Gangwon, Chungcheong, and Gyeongbuk. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Apparently, my my weather radar is
I was like, what is your radar?
Yeah, not that one. The radar. The weather radar that it was still cold, but I guess not as cold.
The real feels colder.
Okay, but
I was
that is
telling
not
Andrew, it's like not as cold.
Yeah,
it's less cold. It's not warm. That's a lie. It's not warm.
Let's talk about trends. What is one that you do not want to return?
I mean,
skinny jeans, you gotta agree.
God, no. But I do like the rest of the 2010s fashion. I think I thrived. Peplum.
Oh.
Peplum is the tops that will go in at the waist and flare out. It's like it creates a waist. I'm all about that. And then, when we wore pencil skirts to clubs, I kind of like that. Let's bring that back.
Pencil skirts.
Yeah, the business casual to clubs, and then all of my extensive collection of statement necklaces are waiting for a comeback because I threw all my hair scrunchies, 곱창 밴드, out in the 2000s, and then they're back. I'm like, I had such pretty ones.
I did.
So my statement necklaces, they're waiting.
Yes,
they're waiting.
The only things that are the skinny jeans, not waiting.
No.
All right, we're going to jump into our first story. The country's major conservative party is going to revamp itself with a new name.
Right. So this is another renaming initiative for now the People Power Party, or the PPP.
Yes.
So this is because the party announced yesterday that its Supreme Leaders Council has reached a decision to officially change the name of the party ahead of the June 3rd local elections.
Right.
So previously, the party held an automatic response call survey over its due-paying members that took place between January 9th and the 11th, and a majority apparently called for a name change. And this came after its chair, Jang Dong-hyuk, announced that he would seek to change the name of the party, and that is about 5.5 years after the party became the People Power Party. So it'll hold a public suggestion phase, change its party charter to reflect that, and confirm its name sometime next month. They're looking at before the Lunar New Year break.
Right. And this obviously is not the first time that the Conservative Party has changed its name.
Nor the central or liberal parties, but it is a political custom/tradition for the parties in South Korea to change their names following usually huge election defeats or political scandals.
Yes.
So this signals an intent to reform and to distance itself from the scandals and the names.
Yes.
So the conservative sphere back in 1997, it launched as the 한나라 party, 한나라당. And depending on the age of the person you're talking to, they will sometimes slip. And it's a marker of, well, when did you first learn about politics?
Right.
Because that name lasts for 15 years, the longest one yet. And then it changed to 새누리당. That was formed in 2017 under then party leader Park Geun-hye's leadership. That was a reform measure. And actually that name lived and died with ex-President Park Geun-hye because it was her impeachment that led to the next name change.
Yes.
And then we went through several years of kind of rapid fire changes. It consolidated with the other conservative parties and formed the Liberal Korea Party, or 자유한국당, abbreviated to 자한당.
Yes.
That lasted for about 3 years, but after an election defeat, changed its name to the United Future Party, 미래통합당. That lasted about 2 years. And then in comes the PPP.
Right.
And now, again, it's looking for a new name. But even those within the party say that unless the party changes its actions and everything that's been problematic in the public eye, that won't make much of a difference with just a name change. In terms of what the new name might entail, members are apparently nominating, and the commonalities include Republic, 공화, Freedom, 자유, and Future, 미래.
I see. Well, we'll give you the details when that name change comes. In the meantime, let's talk about household debt here in South Korea.
Right. So an average household has over 97 million won in debt, 9,700만 won.
Okay.
This is according to the Bank of Korea data released by People Power Party lawmaker Park Sung-hoon's office. An average household debt balance as of the third quarter of last year specifically came to 97,210,000 won. This is the biggest since record-taking began back in 2012. This also marks the 9th consecutive quarterly increase.
Yes. So we want the details. Let's dive into the figures.
Right. So what's really interesting is that fewer people are taking out loans. So the number of people with loans as of Q3 last year, that was the lowest since the fourth quarter of 2020. However, the total balance has increased, meaning that those people who do have loans out, they're taking out larger amounts.
Okay.
So for the people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, the average loan amount did come out to the highest ever for the respective age groups. People in their 40s, that makes sense. That's when the home buying really kicks into gear.
Yes.
For them, the average amount came to 114 million won, so over 1억 won. People in their 50s presumably paid off that amount a little bit, 93 million won. And for people in their 30s, 76 million won.
Okay.
So lawmaker Park said that these burdens from household debt, they don't just stop there. Because if you have larger loans, then you're not going to be able to spend as much, especially with interest rates being higher. And then that leads to low sales for businesses. So he therefore called for systematic management of debt risks and also improving in the finance system for the overall country.
I see. Well, snapshot, household debt. I'm sure we all have some. Let's get some updates on some of the developing international stories. We're going to start with Iran.
Right. So the latest death toll, as you said, stands at 648. This is according to a Norway-based Iran human rights group. A U.S.-based group still puts it at a little over 500, but these hundreds of figures are in the extreme conservative range, say expert. And because there has been an internet blackout, I believe we're going on to day 5 now. We just don't know.
Okay.
And there have been reports and videos trickling out of not only body bags, but also just blood flowing in the streets. And this might be triggering for some, but a human rights group said that a 23-year-old female college student was found shot in the head from close range from the behind. So that means some government authorities are just shooting at protesters. And the protests began back in December, initially over the country's crippling economy, the especially low currency rate. However, that's transpired into anti-regime protests.
Yes.
The government, for its part, they have deemed the demonstrators as vandals, 폭도, and announced 3 days of mourning for the quote-unquote martyrs who were killed in the battle against the U.S. and Israel. So the reason is that Tehran blames these two countries for the unrest, and it even held some pro-government rallies involving thousands of people to muster up support for the regime. And protesters were there seen holding slogans like "Death to Israel" and "Death to America."
Ooh, well, speaking of the U.S., President Donald Trump has hinted at maybe military intervention.
Right, so that is a big will he, won't he story that everyone's watching. So essentially both the U.S. and Iran, they're basically saying that they would or could resolve the situation diplomatically. Talks are in the works. However, both sides could be or would be ready for military action.
Okay.
Let's begin with Iran. Iran's foreign minister said that the country is ready to negotiate with the U.S. based on mutual respect and interest. President Trump did say on Sunday local time that Iranian authorities did call to negotiate, but the Iranian foreign minister said Iran remains prepared for war. However, he said that basically Iran wouldn't strike first. As for the U.S., President Donald Trump said that diplomacy is the first choice. However, that he is unafraid to use force, and that was according to the White House.
I see. So that's Iran. Well, we're going to move on, but President Trump entering the picture once again. President Trump is considering intervention in Iran. While he's doing that, he has issued a warning to Cuba. So why is this?
Right. So this is an offshoot story from the situation in Venezuela, which we will address. But it seems that the next target after Venezuela could be Cuba.
Right.
So President Trump urged Cuba to make a deal or face consequences. So President Trump has been ramping up rhetoric against Cuba ever since that military operation in Caracas, Venezuela that seized President Nicolas Maduro earlier in the month.
Right. Well, now let's connect what this means. How is Cuba connected to Venezuela? Some people might be thinking, what's the connection?
Right, because they are long-standing allies. Venezuela is believed to be sending tens of thousands of barrels of oil per day to Cuba to keep the electricity flowing, although spotty there. In return, Cuba provides security services for Venezuela's presidents, including the latest Maduro, and over a dozen security officials were killed in that raid.
Right.
So President Trump is basically saying that exchange, the quid pro quo, isn't going to be happening anymore, although he didn't really specify what kind of consequences Cuba might face.
Okay.
So Cuba's foreign minister responded by saying that his country retained the right to import fuel without interference, while the Cuban president said no one dictates what we do.
Oh, and as this is going on, President Trump is set to meet with the Venezuelan opposition leader.
Right, so we're going to come back to Venezuela. So Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado will meet with President Trump on Thursday, and that's been confirmed by the White House.
Okay.
So what's been interesting is that despite the Trump administration seizing President Nicolas Maduro, calling him a dictator, they have not endorsed the opposition, namely Machado, as the new leader of the country.
Right.
Instead, they've been working with Maduro's second-in-command, Delcy Rodriguez, simply known as Delcy in the country. Well, opposition leader Machado has maintained that her coalition should absolutely be in charge of the country. But President Trump says, basically he has said, although she's a, quote, very nice woman, she does not have the respect in the country to back that up. So Machado has been kind of on this what some call a charm offensive for Trump.
Okay.
Previously, she said, well, when she won the Nobel Peace Prize, she profusely thanked the U.S. president, again, doubling down on that last week by saying she was hoping to thank Trump personally for the action against Maduro and would like to actually give her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump. And basically, President Trump accepted that, saying that it's a great honor until the Nobel Committee intervened, saying that Nobel Peace Prizes or any Nobel Prizes are not transferable.
Okay. Well, that was a lot to take in. And now we're going to end with the latest from the Minnesota ICE protests going on in the U.S.
Right. So we're going to the U.S. where protests are growing not only in the state of Minnesota, but across the country. This follows the death of a U.S. citizen, Renee Good, after she was shot in the head by ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in Minnesota. So thousands of people gathered in Minneapolis in Minnesota despite the snow over the weekend, and they're demanding the removal of federal immigration authorities. Actually, interestingly, the state of Minnesota and the Twin Cities, they're suing the Trump administration for the widespread federal immigration operations. They're saying this is actually a federal invasion onto their territory. So they're essentially seeking for a court to order for the removal of ICE and Border Patrol agents. Similar protests are unfolding across the U.S. from L.A. to New York to Washington, D.C., Texas, El Paso, and Boston. More than 1,000 demonstrations have been planned or were planned across the U.S. over the weekend.
Yes. However, the U.S. authorities, they are not backing down.
No, they are not. In fact, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News that the authorities will send hundreds of additional ICE and Border Patrol agents to cities across Minnesota. And she stated that these dispatches are to keep ICE agents safe. And if protesters get in the way of the operations, that would be a crime. She also, along with the U.S. government, they do continue to defend the ICE agent who shot Renee Good and accused Good of domestic terrorism. And this is despite videos of at least her showing her SUV driving away from the agents at the time.
All right, so we're going to end it there for the news. We'll check in with you in hour number 2 for 와글와글. So thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
It is time for a little breather with this song. This is 후라이의 꿈 by 악동 musician.
저 거위도 벽을 넘어 하늘을 나를 거라고 달팽이도 넓고 거친 바다 끝에 꿈을 둔다고 나도 꿈을 말고 꿈을 찾으래 어서 남의 꿈을 빌려 꾸기라도 해 내게 강요하지 말아요 이건 내 길이 아닌걸 내밀지 말아요 너의 구겨진 꿈을 난 차라리 흘러갈래 모두 높은 곳으로 걸어볼 때 난 내 물결을 따라 Fall so alone, so on the way 난 차라리 오늘날 붙을래 날 자초한다면 따뜻한 밥 위에 나와자는 계란 프라이 같이 나른하게 프라이 고래도 사랑을 찾아 파도를 가를 거라고 하다못해 내 모두 꿈을 꾸는데 아무도 꿈이 없는 자에게 기회를 주지 않아 하긴 무슨 기회가 어울릴지도 모를 거야 무시 말아줘요 하고 싶은 게 없는 걸 왜 그렇게 봐 난 죄 지은 게 아닌데 난 차라리 흘러갈래 모두 높은 곳으로 걸어볼 때 난 내 물결을 따라 Fall so alone, so on the way 난 차라리 차라리 굴러갈래 끝은 안 보여 뒤에 손등 떠미는데 난 내 물결을 따라 So alone someone on my way 차라리 원날라 붙을래 날 재촉한다면 꿈이나 나 없이 퍼져있는 Can I fly fly 같이 나른하게
It is time for Wave Sports. Andrew's here. Ooh, I love the plaid.
Oh, yeah. It
Nice.
is a little bit brighter on the I don't know. I felt last week I didn't, I was like I'm going to speak American. I was in a beanie. And a hoodie. Looked
With
a
a
bit
southern
scruffy.
drawl.
Yeah, or something. I don't know what I am. I've
to
been watching too many football highlights, like American football highlights, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like the accents are coming through. Yeah. So how are
Okay.
things?
Pretty good, but I want to ask you about our text topic.
Okay, fill me in.
We're
What is
talking
it?
about trends.
All right.
But what is something that you're like, I am so glad that trend is over? Versus you're like, I hope this trend continues. Like maybe it'll become a steady constant, like a steady seller.
One thing I'm happy that never became a trend.
Yes.
Do you know last year at the Super Bowl?
Uh-huh.
Was it last year at the Super
Was it?
Bowl when the rapper?
Which one?
He had to.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar and
That's
his
good.
bell-bottom jeans. I'm happy they didn't catch on. Maybe
For a
that's
while
just
they did.
Maybe that's just me. All
Yeah.
right. Trying to think of other things that didn't catch on. Things I wish that maybe would come back.
Yeah.
Like some other jean trends. Did you ever have Edwin jeans? Do you remember the Edwin jeans? I don't even think they're a brand anymore.
Right,
so
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they're like, you find them in a vintage shop. Those are cool. I like the French
What about blue
baggies.
eyeshadow?
Blue eyeshadow? Was it, why are we... Who's wearing blue eyeshadow?
No, because that was the thing back in the day. Like,
You're talking like Drew
decades
Carey
ago.
show with
No.
Mimi. Is it
like
Mimi? Her name was Mimi?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like throwback to the days. Or like, what about like big coiffed hair? Not that. Yours is fine. But I'm
You
talking
mean
about
like
the
the
big,
80s?
Yeah, with the hair that's so
like the
high.
teased bangs and
The
everything
teased
like that?
bangs. Like,
I don't
heads up,
know.
like,
I mean,
woo.
in that sense,
Yes.
to each his own. You know, bigger is better, some people think. So there you go. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Let's just, I don't know, just be happy that we're allowed to accept trends.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're in that kind of philosophical mood this morning.
No, I'm not really sure. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, we're going to jump into some sports. What do you have for us?
Yeah, now I want to start off with something that I was just reading about right before I came in, so it's not even on our script.
Yes.
And I know there was, everything that happened in Venezuela last week. There's a lot of people who are wondering what's going on with Reyes, the Lotte Giants player. Because, if you're in Venezuela, you can't really leave at the moment.
Yes, it's
and if that's going to affect everything going on with like spring training and stuff like that, obviously the country has a lot more other things to worry about than
Sure.
the 5 baseball players from Venezuela that play in the KBO. But fans here were curious and wonder what's
Sure.
going on. Apparently there are 2 Venezuelan players who are not in the country. They're in the U.S. at the moment, and one of them is Reyes.
Oh.
So he should be able to make it this way for, spring training or whatnot. There are still 3 players who are in the country, so we're not really sure what's going to happen with that.
Well, it's hoping that,
It'll
they're
be
safe.
something to keep an eye on for sure. Now we're going to switch to some news here, some tennis
Yes.
in Korea that was happening in Korea. Something we don't usually talk about a whole lot. Now, men's tennis's 2 biggest stars put on a crowd-pleasing show in Incheon on Saturday night as Carlos Alcaraz edged Yannick Sinner in a high-quality exhibition match at the Inspire Arena. Now, world number 1 Alcaraz won 7-5, 7-6 in front of roughly 12,000 fans. And I think I don't know where else they could have really had it that was like an indoor space, because it was quite cold in Seoul on Saturday night. And then, packed it out with even more. But I think it was actually, for this style of event, an exhibition match. They're having fun.
Yes.
Most of the fans felt they were kind of part of the atmosphere, you know, instead of being like you're up some high seat and not being able to see something. So it was really, really cool to see this happen here in Korea. And the match featured, obviously, you know, some long rallies because they weren't trying to like finish points and stuff like that. Some big shot making and then some competitive intensity. This is all before they head to the Australian Open, which is the first big, you know, tournament of the year, which starts, you know, this weekend. Now, one of the things in any of these events you're looking for, were there trick shots? Was there anything interesting happen? And one of the biggest, you know, roars from the crowd came when Yannick Sinner invited a young Korean boy onto the court and this is mid-match, gave him his racket and said, have at it.
Seriously?
Had a you know, a rally with Alcaraz. Now, I'm not really sure if this boy knew about it in advance, because I think he was well placed. You know, I don't know if he won a competition or what it was to get him there. I think he did all right. He had fun, and, you know, it's something to remember, you know, from moving on. And it really just, like, it showed that even, you know, when you're world number 1 and 2, that you can have, you know, a decent relationship on the court.
Right, and it was for the fans, right?
Yeah, I think that's, people got to remember. I know there's always people who are like, all these exhibition matches, why do they play them? Don't be a downer. Come on now. Just have some fun. You know, and there was some videos I saw on NoTube as well. They were playing table tennis, I think in a mall in Seoul. You know, just doing some, you know, public events and signing some autographs.
I like it. I feel like, you know, anything to grow the sport, to make your sport popular, why not?
Yeah, I know there's, you know, tennis is popular in Korea, but I think, you know, anytime there's big names that come to town, everyone gets a little bit, you know, hyped. Maybe people down here in Busan weren't aware of it, but it was a buzz in Seoul.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for letting us know about this exhibition match. Let's move on. Where are we going next?
American football.
Oh, here we go.
Someone throwing that old pigskin. Yeah. Now, we are both not massive American football fans.
Not anymore. It's hard to follow in
exactly.
Korea.
But last week we kind of made a little, not a wager. We didn't even wager anything.
We didn't wager, but you were like,
coffee.
which team?
A coffee. We'll go with coffee.
Coffee. Okay.
Yeah.
Coffee's
And
good.
you took your Rams.
I did.
And I
LA
took
Rams.
my Patriots.
Okay.
Like we're like massive, diehard, lifelong fans.
And what happened?
Well, we're gonna get to a clip here, and this is setting up for the Rams versus the Panthers.
Stafford and the Rams are moving on. Evans, the punt it, coming after it and blocking it. Carolina's blocked a punt. Blitz comes. Young, corner of the end zone. Coker, a dime, a touchdown, a Panther lead. 1st and 10 from the 19. Stafford going towards the end zone. Parkinson, what a catch, and a touchdown. Colby Parkinson. Last chance. Young, it's dropped, and it's over. Jimmy Horn drops it, and the Rams survive.
The Rams survive.
They survive. So, too, I think it's Ryan Sport on NoTube who's I kind of got that edit from there. A couple of comments on the West Sport. I'm being snobby about American football.
Leslie.
You know, I'm putting it out there that I'm not well versed in, you know, American football. Did you settle down with your Denver Broncos and getting the bye through the wild card week, Leslie? Everyone's all right. Everyone's all right. So, yeah, we heard there it was 34-31 for the Rams. But a heck of an ending to a game. You know, it was funny. I paid attention to this game and to the Patriots game. Everything else, I was just like,
whatever. Yeah, we'll just add it in.
So, you know, so the Rams do move on. The Bears and the Packers. It looked like the Packers were like just gonna like, all right, see you later. The Bears again. Packers win. Nope. Chokeville. All right. So the Bears come back and win that 31-27. Bills and Jaguars, another tight game. The Bills 27-24.
Yes.
Giving the people of Buffalo something to cheer about. It's been a while since they've had that. 49ers over the Eagles, 23-19.
William, are you listening?
And this is the 49ers have their season's just been riddled with injuries. I believe, you know, William or someone had chimed in a couple weeks ago and said, yeah, they just got nothing going on. You know, they're into the next round. They got that. Moving on to the Patriots.
Just by your voice, I can tell they won.
Yeah. New England delivered a vintage playoff performance, winning with defense, discipline, and mistake-free football. To be honest, watching the game and watching the highlights back, it was definitely not as exciting as your Rams game. But a win's a win.
Yes.
16-3 over the Chargers. All right, so they're moving on. And then this morning, I believe it starts at 10 a.m. here. So Monday Night Football back in the States.
Yes.
Steelers versus the Texans. So we'll have to wait and see who wins that to have our final, matchup set.
Wada. We're both alive.
Both alive. Be back with that next week to see what's going on.
All right. And now I hear that you have more updates on the upcoming Olympics. And there was a test event for the hockey venue. So we want to know how to go. Yeah.
And this is something that if you, depending on what media outlet or who you follow on social media, on the gram, on X or wherever it is, you'll get a few different viewpoints. Some people, if it's from the Olympic organizing committee, let's say, not a problem. Event went off with a hiccup. It was great. It was no problem. But there was other people there who gave you the real story, and I'll try to be somewhere in the middle. Okay. All right, I don't want to be down on it too much. So the test event at Milan's Olympic ice hockey venue, offering, we'll say, a bit of a sobering snapshot into what it's looking like there. Now, the ice was ready. The surface was there. There is some clearly unfinished and visible construction going on. Limited seating availability. Now, I'll say I think it's 30 days out, 29 days out from the first game.
That's not much time.
No. All right. A couple of Band-Aids put some places. Now, there was a bit of an issue here. Now, if you look on some sites, they'll say, there was a giant hole in the ice. Now, I don't know what you think, and for our listeners out there, you can let us know. When I hear of a giant hole, I'm thinking of something like this.
Like a manhole? Like big?
Not something like this, right? And that's kind of what it was.
But, as a person who enjoys playing ice hockey, how important is it to have a really smooth surface on the ice? Because I'm thinking, you're skating so fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, I don't think it would matter if the surface was pristine or if it was inside my freezer at home. But for the best in the world, it's like you often hear about soccer players when they're like, oh, the pitch wasn't great. I'm like, what are you talking about? It looked like a carpet out there. It looked great. Right. But, they notice every little detail, right? But they got it fixed. They continued on and played the games that were there. It was kind of like an Italian tournament to just test it and whatnot. Apparently, a lot of people were supposed to sign NDAs so that information wasn't supposed to get out. It did get out. They showed the dressing rooms and things like that, which were lackluster at best. It was not great. But they did come out and say, and I do agree with this, the organizers stressed that these test events are there to expose problems. Okay. Which I totally agree with. You want to know about them now so they can make adjustments and move on. But there was a lot of fans chiming in saying that we're the ones paying these higher ticket prices to have a place, and it looks like it's not. Do I think they're going to get it done? Sure. What's it going to look like? I don't know. I don't know.
We just want the athletes to be safe, to make sure that, in terms of the venue, and plus the fans, I mean, they are paying for those tickets. But
for sure.
Any other Olympic updates?
A few different things going on. There was a lot of issues or, concerns, we'll say, in the Cortina area where they're going to be hosting a lot of the skiing events in the Dolomites. So there was concerns over the infrastructure. Also, the recent cold temperatures have put everyone a little bit at ease because the snowmaking conditions weren't the greatest. Okay. And there wasn't a lot of powder and whatnot in the area to hopefully build these events, especially for events like the snowboarding, the jumping, and things like that. I'm thinking like the half pipe and whatnot, where they have to make this, entire venue essentially out of, made snow. But everything seems to be back on track for that. The torch relay is, making its way through Italy. The February 6th, the run to February 6th, the plans for the opening ceremony in Milan San Siro Stadium, where also they've announced that Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli will perform, which is, I think this is also a bit to throw in there some, the history and then making everyone know like their culture and things like that. I mean, the biggest name in the biz, right? One of the biggest things here, a lot of people were wondering, there's a lot of nations are still whittling down their teams. I couldn't imagine not knowing like a month out if you're going or not. That's, I don't know. Like the U.S. team, they announced there's 16 athletes that'll be going for the figure skating.
Yes.
And I couldn't imagine like over Christmas, New Year's, or whatever you celebrate, not knowing that you're waiting a month before. I would hope to know like in the summer.
Yeah, like ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I can prep.
Yeah.
Right.
Or at least you're able to celebrate it.
That's
you can't
true.
even really celebrate it now until you're there.
No.
And then another one here, and this is something that for, our Korean listeners here in Korea, I'm sure people have noticed. And this is, there's also been some injuries and uncertainty. One of them with Chloe Kim, the snowboarding star from the U.S. has dislocated her shoulder in training, putting her bid for a historic third consecutive Olympic gold in doubt as the games approach. Now, I'll say this. She's dislocated her shoulder, not separated her shoulder.
Which is different.
Big difference. She hasn't totally ripped everything apart in there. I'm sure there's some damage, but she also has access to the best doctors in the world. But in a sport where the potential for falling and landing on that shoulder, especially in training, would be the biggest thing. And you don't want to damage it any further. A month out, maybe it's possible, but that would also limit her training going into it.
Yes.
And also they want to give whoever's going to be the replacement, enough time that they can get ready to go to it. Yeah.
Yes. But she is Chloe Kim, so who knows?
Don't
count her out.
I'm a huge fan. I know it's, the American team, but she's
so amazing.
She's amazing to watch. You want the best there, regardless. You don't
Real quick.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I want to squeeze in.
Yeah.
What's going on in the Premier League with all the sackings going on? Real quick, your take.
I don't know.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I just feel like it's the time of year. So, a lot of teams, they get through or don't get through that busy Christmas period.
Right.
And if you already were on the downhill slope going into Christmas and you didn't get those performances going into Christmas and New Year's, the teams are like, we need to do something. We're at the little bit past the halfway point or around the halfway point. So, yeah, we'll see how it's going. Oh, and last one.
Yes.
Paris Saint-Germain, biggest team, most popular team, biggest team in France at the moment. They lost to FC Paris or Paris FC in the Coupe de France just like 30 minutes ago. So
really?
It was pretty amazing.
Oh, you look so happy.
Yeah. Sorry for the Ikangin fans out there.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew, for your enthusiastic delivery of the sports as usual. And
up the underdogs.
We will check in with you next week.
Bye-bye, everyone.
All right, everybody. This was Wave Sports. It's time to wrap up hour number 1. How about this one? Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars. I'll be back at 8.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back. My neighbors think I'm crazy, but they don't understand. You're all I had. You're all I had. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Or am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon? Oh,
As you just heard, even a quick text could lead to a serious accident. This kind of behavior has a name, smombi, a word created by combining smartphone and zombie.
Walk with your head up and check your surroundings before you move. Let's build a safer traffic culture and keep our streets free from smombies. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
아직 어렵게 느껴지는 영어. 아이들 영어는 어떻게 챙기시나요? 부산 영어방송이 준비한 어린이 영어 콘텐츠 세상. BFM 키즈 영상 채널이 여러분을 찾아갑니다. 샘 해밍턴과 윌 벤저스 그리고 모모랜드 낸시가 함께하는 BFM 키즈에서 영어로 듣는 부산 설화와 전래동화, 재밌는 파닉스 영어, 신나는 K-팝 영어까지 만나보세요. 우리 아이의 영어 실력과 창의력을 쑥쑥 키워줄 특별한 어린이 영어 채널 BFM 키즈가 여러분을 기다립니다. 지금 바로 BFM 키즈를 검색하고 구독해주세요.
Special counsel requests 15-year sentence for ex-interior minister. The Joonseok Special Counsel has requested a 15-year prison sentence for former interior minister Lee Sang-min for his alleged role in ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol's insurrection attempt. The special counsel said that Lee, one of the top legal experts in the country, participated in a crime that destroys constitutional order by allegedly ordering the power and water to be cut off from media outlets. Lee denied the charges and argued that the martial law imposition and insurrection charges are unrelated. The verdict will be announced on February 12th. President Lee Jae-myung heads to Japan for a second summit with Takaichi. President Lee Jae-myung will embark on a 2-day trip to Nara Prefecture in Japan to meet with Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi starting today. Prior to the visit, Lee spoke to the Japanese press, defining the Seoul-Tokyo relationship as one of competition and cooperation, and expressed hopes to seek for further points of commonality. Attention is over whether the two leaders will address the growing tensions between China and Japan, as well as discussions over historical issues between South Korea and Japan. Government presents blueprint for serious crimes and investigations agencies. The Prosecutorial Reform Task has unveiled outlines for the 2 new government agencies that will take on the prosecution's investigative and indictment powers. The new Serious Crimes Investigation Agency will be overseen by the Interior Minister and will have powers to open investigations into 9 major types of crime, including corruption, elections, and large-scale disasters. The Indictment Agency under the Justice Minister will have measures to reflect public opinion and insights from outside experts, with measures to guard against prosecutors' political influence. The 2 ministries will hold a legislative pre-announcement period until January 26th, with the goal of introducing the bills at the National Assembly within February. At least 600 dead in Iran protests. Reports estimate that at least 648 people have died in Iran from the anti-regime protests, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying he is unafraid to use force. The Norway-based Iran human rights group said that it had verified that figures, but estimates that the actual number could be in the thousands as eyewitness accounts cite security forces firing at unarmed protesters. The White House said that diplomacy remains the first option, that President Trump would employ the force of the U.S. military if deemed necessary, including airstrikes. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview. On December 23rd, 2024, South Korea officially entered a super age society, with people aged 65 and older accounting for more than 20% of the population, the UN's benchmark for super aging. This shift has occurred faster than anywhere else in the world, which just 7 years after Korea became an age society in 2017. The impact is already visible, with national health insurance data showing medical care costs have increased fivefold over the past 2 decades. So against this backdrop, the key question is how South Korea can turn longer lives into healthier, more meaningful years. Joining us today is Dr. Linda Freed, director of the Robert and Butler Columbia Aging Center and the Robert and Butler Professor of Health Aging and Dean Emerita of Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health. Let's say hi to her. Hi, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yes. Well, South Korea has entered a super age society. And from a public health perspective, what does this moment represent?
Well, I think the first thing that it represents is success. And that's important to recognize and value. Over the last 60 years, South Korea has made investments in education and health that have paid off so that people are living longer because of both of them. So that's an immense success. It's what we wanted for our young people, that they could live long lives.
Yes, indeed. And yes, go on, Dr. Freed.
I think this also represents a challenge for the future, as to both how to maintain it and how to build on this success, and understand whether it's going to take more of what we've done in the past or really a new vision with new ways to actually make this the basis for societal thriving because of our long life.
Yes. Well, South Korea aged faster than any other country, according to the data, moving from an age to a super age society in just 7 years. Why does the speed of aging matter so much?
So I think the speed matters in terms of the lead time to plan and to get ready and to really dig in to understand how to build on success the best. The worries, of course, are that the successes of the present need to be extended to make sure that young people, and I mean children and young adults, are best positioned to live their long lives with health and with a sense of thriving, and that all ages are benefiting from this new longevity. But it's going to require for every country taking the time to both see the vision, the optimistic vision that country wants to build towards and bringing everybody along. A compressed timeline raises I think, the pressure to get the vision right and to make the investments to keep going.
I see. Dr. Fried, this whole idea of healthy longevity, why is it important to focus not just on living longer, but on living well as we age?
So if I ask my students if they want to live long lives, there's always a group of very smart students who say maybe. Everybody else says yes. But the group who says maybe consistently says maybe because they say it depends on whether I'm healthy or not.
Yes.
And and they're exactly right. That's how we feel as human beings, that we want to be able to not just live long lives, but to live them with health. The good news is that we now know from science of the last half century, we don't know everything, but we know a huge amount about how to help people be healthy throughout those long lives and stay healthy into those older years. And the critical question now is for each country to figure out what it's going to take to add health to those long years, and then to really make those healthy long years ones that both the older person values, that it matters, that they can stay engaged and make the contributions to their family, to their community that they want to, but also that young people are conscious that they're thriving because of the investments that are made for healthy longevity.
I see. And, when we talk about aging societies, people often think about things like health or, even the availability of hospitals. But taking a broader approach, what role do communities and everyday environments play in keeping older adults healthy?
So our communities and our environments have a huge role to play. About 70% of any population's health comes from those environments, those communities, how we invest in the conditions in which people can be healthy, how we invest in the ways that they can stay connected to those around them and not feel isolated and lonely, how they can feel like valued members of that community. All of those things shape the opportunity for health and well-being. And so this is a particularly critical question that you're asking. Only about 20% of a population's health comes from medical care, if it's the right medical care. But 70% comes from exactly where you're focusing. What are our environments like? I'll give you one example. There's new evidence that air pollution is a cause of dementia, as well as dampening, slowing, diminishing the mental capabilities of infants and how their mind develops. If we know that, then what do we need to do to protect people from exposure to air pollution? Now that's up in the air. That's not up down on the ground in terms of what we think about as our community, but it's part of the environment.
Oh, what a great example. So we have a better picture. Thank you for that. Moving on to our next question. Since obviously a super age society is not just an issue for, said older adults, what role can younger generations play? Because obviously we're all going to age just at different times.
So the issue of aging is so interesting because it's very hard, I've learned as a young person, to imagine getting old, harder than for an older person to imagine being young, and to really value it. And yet, what we now see globally is that it's possible to design societies for longer lives in a way that benefits the well-being and future of young people. How do we do that? Well, we do that from a public health point of view by making sure that we're investing in the conditions that help children and young adults be healthy. Because having that baseline of health creates better health futures for them, as well as presents.
Yes.
But we also know that older adults actually bring the potential for a lot of capabilities in a society that can help those who are young. Now, what do I mean? Well, helping them develop the skills to launch successfully into adulthood, giving them connections to get the jobs they want. But also, there are a lot of assets that we're learning that older people have that are intergenerationally beneficial, including that elusive question of wisdom and helping people resolve conflicts and anxieties about the future. So how we think about an intergenerational world in which all ages benefit from each other, I think is very important right now because the evidence is that it can be very successful.
And as we wrap up our discussion for today, one final question for you. If you were, let's say, in theory, advising policymakers here in South Korea, what preventative steps should they prioritize now in order to avoid bigger health crises later on?
Well, I think South Korea has a strong record of investing in the two things that really are critical. One is education, which changes really the country's well-being in terms of in terms of its economy, and investing in health at every age and keeping people healthy.
Yes.
I think that those are the foundations of prevention. How we think now how to extend those investments in health promotion and education across the full life course so that every age has the opportunity for long lives with health is the next stage. And then moving to what you were thinking about, how we design our communities and environments to support health and aging in ways that no individual can do themselves is the complement.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for giving us such good information about South Korea and in general, just the super aged era that we're living in right now. Thank you so much and Happy New Year. Thank you, Dr. Freed.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for your great thinking about this. Take care.
Thank you. Once again, this was our special interview. A lot of food for thought as we are in this era of being a super aged society. So I hope that was of benefit to all of you out there. I'll be back in just a moment with our traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's time for your update on traffic. First up, let's talk about the top portion of Gwangan Bridge. It is congested. Next up, Chungjang-daedo is backed up from pier number 5 to pier number 3. There's traffic on Beonyeonglo from Taeyeon Tunnel to Gwangan Tunnel. It's also slow on Nakdong-namno from Gangsa Police Station to Seongsan 3-way intersection. Currently, it's 6 degrees. It's going to go up to 8. It is warmer today. However, Busan is still under a dry weather special report. Across the country, it is dry and cold. And in most areas, it's still in the negative territory. Snow forecast for parts of Gangwon, Chungcheong, and Gyeongbuk. This was your traffic and weather. And this is 예뻐서 by Day6.
지금 이 말이 우리가 다시 시작하자는 건 아니야. 그저 너의 남아있던 기억들이 떠올랐을 뿐이야. 정말 하루도 빠짐없이 사랑한다 말해줬었지. 잠들기 전에 또 눈 뜨자마자 말해주던 너 생각이 난 말해보는 거야. 예뻐서 날 바라봐주던 그
It's time for Waggle Waggle Tea Time. Haley's back.
Hello.
So we were talking about like these trends. Real quick, what did you mention? You mentioned
Mara is here to stay, which I'm not a huge fan because the tongue-numbing factor. But I saw this place in Gwangan, not an ad, but these kids were carrying around the cups with like skewers sticking out of it. So I was like, oh, are those 어묵? No, it was like a takeout Mara place.
Oh my gosh.
So that is the new 어묵탕 is Mara 꼬치. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. We're going to get into our first story for Waggle Waggle. The AI chatbot Grok, developed by Elon Musk, is under controversy for its
explicit.
Yes, sexual images. So if you have little kids,
that's
turn it down.
Well,
Not
also
really.
educate them on what's out there because
That's true.
So in multiple cases in the past few weeks, Grok, developed by X's AI, it has been flooding the internet with sexual images of mostly women, real people, even minors, wearing bikinis and other revealing skimpy clothing, or sometimes even no clothing at all, although it's not supposed to. So these are pretty much versions of deepfaked images where people use the chatbot to, well, this is a term I thought I'd never use, digitally undress people. Well, here's the key, without their consent.
Okay. So this is reminiscent of the whole like deep fake scandal that South Korea went through last year. Why has Grok been singled out though?
Right. So what's different from the deepfake scams is that back last year, or unfortunately that's still going on, people would take just photos and then superimpose that onto a naked body, for example. However, Grok functions differently compared to other mainstream AI models, according to those in the industry. Other models, most models, explicitly ban any secondary generation of sexualized content.
Okay.
However, Grok, let's say, for example, and this is a real case, let's say I post a selfie or like a full, picture of myself on X.
Okay.
People can take that picture and ask Grok to digitally undress whomever's in the photo. It's not supposed to be full nudity. Apparently, people have found prompts to do this. It's usually in bikinis. And then people will repost that into my comment. Then, like, how is that not sexual harassment is another question.
Yes.
So Grok, the thing about it is built into the platform X, and people can have private conversations. However, if they tag Grok in a post, Grok will respond publicly, which is why a lot of photos have gone public.
I see.
So people found out they could just tag Grok and ask it to edit images from X, including, again, people in skimpy clothing.
Okay.
Elon Musk joined in good jest because he posted a picture of himself in a bikini generated by Grok and his nemesis Bill Gates as well. But then it spiraled, as it often does, to non-celebrities, again, mostly women, and some children and teens.
Okay. Well, the backlash has been growing over this, right?
Right, because again, this is without many cases, it's without consent.
Yes.
And the images could violate various domestic and international laws and even put many people, including kids, in harm's way. So already we're seeing countries starting to take action against Grok. Most seriously, Indonesia and Malaysia over the weekend have decided to ban this AI platform. They're the first in the world to do so. The Indonesian government said that it views the practice of non-consensual sexual deepfakes as a serious violation of human rights, dignity, and security of citizens. Malaysia said that X, the company behind Grok, it has failed to address its request to seek tighter measures following the repeated misuse of the AI in repeated harmful content. So as for X, upon the backlash, it has kind of scaled things back, saying that now it's going to limit the use of the AI generation photo to those who have paid membership. But then Elon Musk himself, he said that critics are just looking for any excuse for censorship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next topic. We sometimes get approached on the streets for various reasons, whether it's, because of religion to things like charity. But there's this whole new tactic that we need to know about, right?
Skincare.
Skincare.
But beware, young people, especially the sweet spot being 1920 to whenever you're perceived as not being 20 anymore. So sad. Social media posts are now warning young people of these so-called free skincare trials offered on the streets. So especially according to these accounts, there are people, reportedly most of them are middle-aged women, approaching young women, young people, but mostly women, around the crowded Gangnam Station area. So they'll say, oh, we have free coupons. Like, oh, are you going to college? We have free coupons for skincare. Like, oh, you're done with the CSATs, treat yourself. And even kind of take you by the arm, lead you / sometimes grab you to a skincare clinic or the dermatologist.
Okay, I'm scared to ask. What happens once you get up there?
Well, it differs, but apparently they will give you coupons and then offer the free skincare, but then convince you to add things on top of that, of course. And by convince, up to pushing you. Right. So, or they will do the free skincare first or say, oh, you should get, this prepaid package for months and months and months. And they will be sometimes worth millions of won. Here's the age sweet spot. And I do have a family member who's fallen not to this particular scheme, but something else. Because if you are 20, you are old enough to be held financially accountable. Right. You're not a minor. But are you old enough to know? Mine didn't. Yeah. So there was a whole thing. Well, ask me later. So people say that the accosting on the street is so severe. Right. To the point, if you're if you're just not outspoken, shy or timid, which 20-year-olds would be, you feel afraid to say no to elders, you are just going to get, you're going to get drawn in there.
But I have a question. Listening to all this, in my head, an alarm bell is going off saying, isn't this coercion?
I know. I'm like, 이래도 돼요? 그렇대요. Legally, it's not coercion.
Oh, really?
Because that is a difficult thing to prove. So in order, and this is according to the police, in order for coercion charges to stick, and coercion is 강요죄, there has to be threats, blackmail, or even physical violence.
Okay.
So simply pressuring you repeatedly doesn't fall into the legal realm of coercion. However, if you have already fallen victim to especially the skincare issues, it is possible for you to get a refund for any skincare or dermatological treatments if you buy it in a bulk package. But you do have to pay a penalty, 위약금, so please read the fine print. That penalty could be worth the entire package sometimes. But if you bought skincare products, don't open them, and you can return them within 7 days for online purchases and 14 days for in-person purchases.
Yes. Okay, so beware and, of course, spread the word. Now let's go to our story that is very much linked to our text topic today, trends, because the whole Dubai chewy cookies, the AKA the 두쫀쿠, all the rage. People are talking about it on our, in our chat room. However, have you seen the price tags on some of these cookies?
Girl, have you seen the lines?
The lines
I haven't even
are
looked at the price tags because I wasn't able to get into the store.
Yes.
So I, being the nice person that I am, was planning on bringing some in. Well, good. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Stop making sounds. But I went to the store and it had a 2 per person limit. And I was like, well, I can't make...
there's 2.
아니, 지훈 씨는. What about Sue? And I was like, I can't make people fight. Maybe I will. So we'll see. We shall see.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. All right. Well, they are the hottest baked good in the country right now. This 두쫀쿠 is a Korean creation.
Yes.
The Dubai chocolate is Dubai's.
Yes.
So many stores will see customers lined up before they open for the so-called open run. They do have limits on how many a person can buy, as I've discovered. And there are even maps that tell you where to buy 두쫀쿠 and plus their inventory, although that's mostly in Seoul. So, yeah.
Okay, that's too far for us. Yes. So the popularity, obviously, so massive that it's led to an increase in the cost of the raw ingredients.
It's the whole market. So reports say that the price of pistachios, which are never cheap to begin with, marshmallows, and even the individual packing containers have gone up. So for a kilo of pistachios, it used to go for 45,000 won, now 10만 won. a cool 100,000 won.
Wow.
The price of cookies themselves, depending on where you go, the sizing, I've seen them for about 7,000 to 8,000 won. Not cheap, but it's also cheap enough for people to just try it out because it's super hot and trendy. Not only that, there was even a 30만 won, 300,000 won 두쫀쿠 that was sold on a very limited basis. But it's like the size of a head.
But
like,
still.
It's massive. Right. And there are even non-bakeries like 국밥 places and other restaurants selling them on the side. And because the karaif, the little pastries are expensive, people are using like vermicelli noodles and someon too, which is kind of smart.
It's so smart. So I had a little piece because my little one was gifted one. And I was like, it's good, but it's like, really?
But am I going to wait
for that
an hour?
And pay for that?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our final story. This is regarding K-pop Demon Hunters continuing to make history.
They are gonna be golden. Well, Golden Globes,
Yes.
that is. So K-pop Demon Hunters, now a Golden Globe winner for Best Original Song and Best Animated Feature.
Yes.
So singer, as we see her in the center, Ije, Kim Eun-jae, she dedicated the award to people who've had the door closed on them to never give up. Director Maggie Kang said that she wanted to depict strong and bold women, female characters through the film, and her co-director Chris Applehan said that the movie is a love letter to music, to the power music has to connect people and see a kind of shared humanity.
Aw, so congrats, of course.
Yay.
And you know that song will live forever in our head, at least for a few more months. But here, that's the end of Waggle Waggle today, and we'll check in with you tomorrow, right?
Yep, see you tomorrow.
All right. Everybody, that was Waggle Waggle, and we're going to get to Golden by Huntrix.
I was a ghost, I was alone. 두어진 길 속에 Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be. I lived two lives, tried to take both sides, but I couldn't find my own place. Caught a pet child, 'cause I got too wild, but now that's how I'm getting paid. 끝없이 on stage, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe. We're going up, 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 it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Up, up, up with our voices, don't wanna get this so on it. Gonna be golden. Oh, I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. Oh, our time, no fears, no lies, that's who we're born to be. Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see. No more hiding, now be shining like I'm born to be. 'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe. We're going up, up, it's our moment. You know together we're glowing, gonna be golden. Oh, up, up with our voices, don't wanna get this so on it. Gonna be golden. Oh, I'm done hiding.
It is time for Simply Sustainable. Guess who's here? Bonnie's here.
Good
morning. So how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yes.
Loving this cold.
Really?
Yeah, it's an excuse to stay inside.
That's true. That is so true. Yeah. Hey, we're talking about trends today.
Yes.
So what is one trend that you hope never comes back? Like, why was this a thing?
Ooh.
And please don't come back. Or anything that you...
Can it be from a really long time ago?
Yeah, or something that was trendy that you really like and it's like a mainstay now.
Oh, okay. I don't know if this was anywhere else, but when I was young in high school or maybe middle school, there was a trend of wearing white eyeliner. Do you remember this?
Didn't we all try it?
Oh, yes.
Was there an age?
Yes, it was. But I really, that's one trend I think from back in the day that I hope, because trends are always coming back.
Sure.
I really hope I don't see that one again. I don't know what we were thinking.
Eyeliner. Yeah. I mentioned it wasn't really even my era, but it's like probably before my era, like blue eyeshadow.
Oh, yeah.
Who looks good in blue eyeshadow?
Yeah, exactly. The white eye, I don't know why we decided to do that, but yeah, that can stay back there.
Yes. All right, we're going to jump into our segment. What do you have for us today?
Yes, today, some great local news, some big local news actually, because our own Busan National University announced that its researchers have developed this method to be able to remove microplastic pollution from our drinking water and wastewater systems. So this is pretty big because this is, something that everybody needs and drinks our water systems, but it's something that to this day, we can't really filter out all these tiny little plastic pollution particles. Right. But they have said that they have created something that can do this.
Okay.
So they've claimed that this water treatment process eliminates more than 95% of the micro and nano plastics within 10 minutes of using this plate-shaped iron oxide magnetic nanoparticles.
Oh my gosh, that is so scientific.
A lot of scientific terms in there. But the main point is that they're able to take out these micro, and the big part is these nanoplastics because they're so small. And so to give you an idea of what the size is, how small those really are, a microplastic is something that is about 0.5 millimeters or smaller in diameter. So this is about equivalent of a grain of rice. So something that we can see, this is something that I pick up a lot of when I do my beach cleanups.
Okay.
So, if you're walking on the beach, if it's like a blue or bright color, you can see it with your eyes, about a grain of rice. But a nanoplastic is 0.001 millimeters. So I'll repeat that. If a microplastic is 0.5, a nanoplastic is 0.001 millimeter.
Oh my gosh.
Diameter or less. So even smaller. So this is so small that you probably can't even see this with the naked eye.
Right.
So little particles that are floating around, and we ingest these all the time through our air, through the food that we eat, and through the water that we drink.
I have a question.
Yes.
So of these two that you've mentioned, the micro and the nanoplastics, which is more dangerous?
Well, because you would think maybe the micro because it's a bigger piece of plastic, but actually these nanoplastics are much more harmful and have a far more toxicologically, say that 10 times fast, more active than microplastics. And this is because they're so small that they actually can get absorbed into the body and go through physical barriers. So not only do we ingest these, but they can potentially disrupt and damage our internal organ systems because they're crossing the organ barriers and they're getting inside of our systems, including our brain. So we've already seen research come out with little nanoparticles of plastic going through the blood-brain barrier and going into our brains. So obviously this is not something good because all of these plastics are made from chemicals.
Sure.
They are toxic. We don't want them in our bodies, and it's really hard to get them out. You can't really flush all of them out or filter all of them out. And once they enter the body, because they're made out of these chemicals, they're continuously kind of leaching out these bad toxins into our bodies. So we don't want them in our body at all. But we can't really help nowadays. They're just plastics are everywhere.
Yes.
So yes, they are coming into our bodies. But Busan National University has found a way to at least kind of filter them out of the waterway system.
Oh, this is great news then.
Yeah. And, a little scientific way. But it's not like a normal filtration system. Like if you can think of a normal filter, you're like running water through it and it catches the little particles.
Right.
But these particles are so small that a normal filtration system is not able to catch them all.
Okay.
So what the research accomplished is they're using this phenomenon called dynamic confinement. And they're using a combination of a thin plate-like surface and an external magnetic field, which is making all of these little particles kind of cluster together. And then they can trap them and then take them out.
Okay, so just to recap. Okay, so it's not like each nanoparticle like on its own, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying what they've been able to do is kind of gather them, 모아가지고.
Yes.
And then like together, like obviously easier to extract, right?
Yeah, and they're using this chemically modified surface, so it's improving the bonding of the plastic, so they can kind of be removed, and then they can reuse it too. So this lowers the cost of operations, and it lowers the environmental impact. So this whole process is quite advanced, but really good news for us that hopefully through this system we'll have less microplastics and nanoplastics in our water systems.
Wow, but it does make sense. It's kind of like, I know another analogy, but like, there's like little dust bunnies here and there in your house. But if you get a broom and kind of gather them together.
Much easier.
Much easier to pick up. Okay, so that makes sense. We can at least understand that bit of it.
Yes, very good news for us.
Okay.
So congratulations to PNU for coming up with this. But also I wanted to share, so this is our waterway systems, right? But we are still ingesting a lot of microplastics, nanoplastics in many other ways.
Sure.
So I wanted to give you some tips, especially right now because it's wintertime. And one of the ways that we ingest the most microplastics and nanoplastics is through what we drink. And this season, it is chilly outside. It's pretty cold, so we're drinking a lot of hot liquids.
True.
Mostly sometimes tea, right? A lot of you guys that enjoy your tea beverage. One of the ways that we ingest a lot of the plastics is through the cups that we use. So if you are getting a hot beverage from a cafe and getting takeaway, but you're using a paper cup, we think paper, it's much healthier for us. There's no plastic. But inside the lining of those paper cups, it's actually plastic. And so to give you a little number of how much we're actually ingesting, a hot beverage in a cup for about 15 minutes is going to leach about 25,000 microplastic particles into your beverage. So that's only 15 minutes.
Yes.
So it's a lot. If you get a beverage in a hot paper cup, you want to maybe transfer it over into a real cup just to reduce the amount as much as you can. Or best of all, bring your own tumbler.
Yes.
Right? So that's for your coffee drinks when you're getting them outside.
Okay.
But also about our tea bags. If you are drinking tea, sometimes your tea bags have also been found to leach billions of particles into your tea. So what can you do? Get loose leaf tea, and I brought a little example. If you get one of these like filter,
like strainers,
metal strainers, these are great for your loose leaf tea. And they also have now like cloth tea bags that you can use, and you can reuse them over and over again. So try to do that for your tea. Also, another way that we ingest these plastics is through the air that we breathe.
Okay.
And so a way that we can reduce that is trying to look at the materials that you're buying. So trying to avoid the plastics like nylon, spandex, polyester. And another quick fix is buying secondhand. Because the more you wash something, the more of the little particles are leached out. So if you buy something secondhand, you're actually able to ingest less plastics in the air.
Oh, that does make sense, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And then another way is the food that we eat. So just a quick tip, if you have any food in your house that is in a plastic package, especially like a crinkly like cereal bag package. If you have anything like that, try to transfer it into a Tupperware, like glass Tupperware, metal Tupperware, and then empty it out. Because every time you're emptying out like cereal into your cereal bowl, all the rough materials kind of scratching the inside of that bag, and it's scratching little pieces of plastic into your food. So to avoid that, you want to transfer out all of those, whatever food item, into like a nice container that's airtight, so it keeps it fresh.
Great tip, because like we want our producer who says she is guilty of having just had cereal and she's thinking, oh my gosh, like now it's like, now we know, we are in the know.
Yes.
So we can transfer.
Yes.
Get a little container, transfer the cereal as soon as you buy it so that every time you're,
shaking the cereal, you're also shaking some plastic
shaking.
into your cereal too. You're like scraping the inside of the plastic. So it's going into these are tiny little nanoparticles. You're not going to be able to see them with your eye. But they're there. The research has shown that cereal is actually one of the highest because you keep on dumping it out and it keeps on scratching.
What do you recommend though for the container for cereal? Because usually, I'll be honest, I've seen lots of plastic containers because it's light and it's kind of like, a cereal box, the contents. It's not. So it's like
they have like metal containers
and
also glass. I know glass is a little bit heavier,
right?
But glass is the best container out of anything to store your food in. It is the cleanest. It's like the least toxic. So if you can get a smaller glass container. I like to use jars, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I reuse a ton of jars because they're also airtight, so it will keep your food really fresh as well.
Maybe like the long cylindrical like pasta jars for like pasta noodles. That might do. I have to get cracking on that.
If it's a little heavy, you can get like a little workout in the morning too,
But ever since you've been like schooling us for a while now, I've been transitioning from plastic to glass, like all the Tupperware, all the little containers, the pantantongs. I've been transitioning.
And they look nice, right?
I'm like 80% there.
Nice.
So I just have 20%, to go in terms of, swapping everything out.
Yeah, you're almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost there. It's been a process.
Yeah, slow but steady.
Yes, well, thank you for bringing us such good news.
Yes, of course.
Great information and also tips as well. And we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah, have a great day.
All right, it is time to wrap up this morning. And we're going to end it with this one, a song request from Umberto. This is Apatu by Rosé and Bruno Mars. Enjoy and join us again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
짱이가 좋아하는 랜덤 게임 게임 스타트 아파트 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 kissy face sent to your phone but I'm trying to kiss your lips for real red hearts that's what I'm on yeah come give me something I can feel don't you want me like I want you baby don't you need me like I need you now sleep tomorrow but tonight go crazy all you gotta do is just meet me at the 아파트 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 아파트
It's whatever you like. Turn this opposite into a club. I'm talking drink and smoke free, party all night. Come back, go, what's up? Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you need me like I need you now? Sleep tomorrow, but tonight go crazy. All you gotta do is just meet me at the 아파트 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 아파트
Hey, so now you know the game. Are you ready? 'Cause I'm coming to get you.